Hey yo everyone, Andrew here, bringing you another video, and today we're going to be doing a beginner's guide to Resurrection Man. Brief history on Resurrection Man. Unfortunately, like many of the characters in the DC Universe, Resurrection Man doesn't have quite as much information to tell, which could be beneficial for someone that wants to jump into the comic because, well, there's not much information you need to know. So with that said, Resurrection Man's real name is Mitch Shelley, and originally it was conceived that Mitch Shelley was a lawyer, who eventually gained the power to die and come back to life, hence the name Resurrection Man. It is later revealed that it could be possible that his history goes all the way back to being a caveman, so he's had tons of different lives where he just keeps coming back to life, dying and keep coming back to life, and it's when he comes to the Mitch Shelley persona that he doesn't quite remember all that history previous to him. Now that's the basic gist of Resurrection Man. On to powers and abilities. Resurrection Man's powers and abilities are, well, if you haven't figured it out now, dying and coming back to life and resurrecting. This is an interesting power because it's not just the fact that he's immortal and you can't kill him, and when you do kill him, he comes back to life. It's the fact that when he comes back to life, he has various different powers. Now these powers can range from being utterly silly and goofy and useless to being more powerful than Superman and Wonder Woman. He gets such a slew and wide range of powers. For example, he could change the color of his skin, or maybe make it so his eye colors change. Or he could have the ability to annihilate a city by throwing a fireball at it. Again, his powers vary and change. And also sometimes his deaths correspond with his powers. For example, randomly, if he's killed by a giant icicle that falls on his head, maybe in his next resurrection he'll be able to manipulate ice. If he is blown up with an explosion or some chemicals are used on him, maybe in the next life he's able to manipulate the chemicals. So that's the basic information on his powers. He dies, comes back to life, and then he gains special powers based on that. Personality. Well, Resurrection Man's personality varies. It really depends on the writer more so than the character. At times he can be a very serious character, and at times he can be downright grumpy. But really it comes down to the writer who is writing him. To be absolutely honest, my exposure to Resurrection Man hasn't been quite as much as it has been to other DC superheroes. So that's why I'm going to leave this section of the beginner's guide kind of open for research. I could go on Wikipedia or the DC database and look stuff up, but then again, I don't trust Wikipedia or the DC database. I trust what I read from comics. On the whole, people who would like Resurrection Man. Well, Resurrection Man is going to be the definition of plot and character pushing story. There would be probably a lot of action in the story and a lot of uniqueness, seeing the fact that he can come back to life with various different powers, but Resurrection Man will probably be a story or comic books based on the character himself, really looking into his past, seeing what makes him tick, and maybe finding out some mysteries about who he is. Again, we don't know how much of Resurrection Man's previous history is going to transition over into the new DCU. So for all we know, we could get a fresh start with Resurrection Man not knowing anything about himself and trying to find out exactly what his past is like. But for on a whole, Resurrection Man, that's a brief beginner's guide to the character. Again, like Firestorm, I'm sorry I don't have more to offer, but with the changes happening in the DCU, and also with my lack of information on the character, that's the best I can give you. So with that said, I hope this helped you guys out. This is Andrew saying peace out for now.